Yo, what is going on, guys? Welcome back to the 5th lesson of the Orderflow beginners course. So in today's lesson we are going to be speaking about absorption, and this is a potentially a little bit of a confusing topic for some people, but I'm going to simplify it to the best of my ability. Now before we get started, really quickly, make sure that you head down into the description right now and join my free Telegram mentorship. I'm literally hosting free Zoom calls on this every single week, and I'm teaching you every single thing that you need to know about Orderflow completely for free. Okay, so let's get straight into the lesson. What is order flow? Sorry, no, what is order flow? What is absorption? Absorption is pretty self-explanatory. It's in the name. It's essentially traders being absorbed within a candle. Now, we understand when we take a look at price action from the last video, when we take a look at price action, we like to take a look at the candles and the delta, and we correlate them with each other. So it's called the law of cause and effect. So whatever happens here should match here. Whatever happens here should match here. Whatever happens here should match here. So I like to call absorption like an anomaly where the candle isn't essentially following the delta, they're not matching. Because as I said in the previous video, we discussed that the usual understanding is that as we have positive deltas, we should be seeing bullish candles and the trend to continue up, whereas if we have negative deltas, we should be seeing bearish candles and the trend to be continuing down. Whereas in this scenario with absorption, sometimes you'll be seeing positive deltas but negative candles, and sometimes you'll be seeing negative deltas with positive candles, and this essentially is called absorption. And what does that mean? So if we take a look right here, this is a fairly interesting candle for us because this was a news candle, but absorption happens in pretty much any candle, it doesn't really matter. But this was a news candle right here for me. And as you can see, the delta here was 199277, but the candle was extremely bearish. Essentially what this is telling me that no matter what the buyers did right here, even though they were this strong, the candle still closed bearish. So all of the sellers right here were able to absorb the buyers within this candle. Okay, they was able to absorb it because they were able to push price down. So this is absorption where it doesn't follow. Now, some people can get confused with absorption because they get very difficult to it's very difficult for them to identify it. And absorption, if identified correctly, can show you some very strong reversals and can show you perfect times of exit. Now, here's a few things that you must understand. As you go up, okay, as you go up within a candle, as you go up within a range, for example, sorry, trend, not every single candle is going to be positive. It doesn't mean just because you get a little thing that kind of looks like absorption, it's absorption. It's not. Like, for example, right here, I wouldn't really consider this absorption. It's a very minor number. When it comes to absorption, it has to be big. It has to be very noticeable. Something like this. Okay, this is a huge number and a huge candle. It's very big. Once again, second candle, absorbed. But we're not absorbing as well as we were doing here. And then eventually, here's the difference when you can tell if it's going to be, if it's just absorption, or if we're actually going to get that reversal because we see a lot of positive deltas. When you start seeing price going back and correlating again, look, we have a positive delta and it's bearish. Positive delta is bearish, and then once again here we're starting to go back into on track, and then once again we're starting to go back on track, but still though, and then once again I'm seeing absorption right here, but still no identification that we're going back on track. And then eventually, okay, as I start seeing these candles slowly go back on track, where I see positive delta, positive candle, once again we have some more absorption right here. It's still nothing. This is what was happening right here. This is all absorption occurring in this range. Constantly. And then I start seeing lots. Okay, it's very important when you're looking at absorption. You're not looking just at the delta. You're looking at the max delta and min delta. Let me tell you now, this is the secret to understanding absorption. Because what I might have just said there might have been a little confusing. I'm going to simplify very easily. When we take a look at absorption, a lot of time you'll see both participants, you're going to see max delta and min delta. There's going to be numbers on both of these pretty strong. And even though you might have a positive delta right here and positive delta right here, but you still have that minus 105. Okay, you still have that minus 105, and then obviously you had these buyers like all absorbed. Whereas as we start moving along, and when you start seeing a drop off, like here we still have sellers and buyers participant, sellers and buyers participant, sellers and buyers participant. We don't really know exactly what's going on, but as we go along, it's clear now that the buyers are way stronger than the sellers. Look, 244 in comparison to -5, 67, -71, 87, -7, 154, -1. Now, here, I would consider myself to be out of the absorption. Okay, I would consider myself to be out of the absorption. Like, once again, this right here, you could consider this some sort of absorption because it's a big number. Right here, I wouldn't consider big absorption. You have to be very, very clear of that. But I would consider myself leaving absorption because I see that the numbers are very, very weak right here. And as you can see, we start making that up move. And now, instead of being absorbed to downside, now the buyers are absorbing the sellers. Look, -144, -144, big number, but bullish candle. Same thing again, and then we go back to track and we continue up. Okay, so here we have no more absorption because it's a positive delta, positive candle, positive delta, positive candle, etc, etc. You will get, as I said, throughout some of the candles where you have like, you know, -13, -0.02, positive candle, but it's nothing big right here on the delta. You continue up, and then look, very, very strong delta. Look, we went from very, very strong positive delta to now very, very strong negative delta, and this is the first sign. -109, -150, 12, that candle, and away you go. You get that pullback. Okay. I'm going to give you guys one more example. I'm going to keep this lesson short, sweet, and simple. Here's another very good example of absorption. Now, it's not as prominent as you'd like it to be, but it is absorption. Take a look at all these candles and look at the sizing of these candles, right? Take a look at all of them. 43, that's the size. 27, that's the size. Now we go here, we see -733, -733, 82, but this is the size of it. This is clear as daylight absorption. Now, yes, it's barely a bearish candle, but it's like a doji or whatever you want to call it. That is a sign of absorption, because if we see -733 and it's not going anywhere, well, clearly the buyers have absorbed all of these right here. They've absorbed all of this negative delta right here. And in turn, this will usually lead to a move up. Now, this is during the Asian session. We don't expect large moves here, to be honest. But as you can see, it continues up and it just continues and continues up. Okay, so this also can be another sign of absorption. As I said, absorption usually will look very, very strange. Whereas look at all these numbers, they're minor, you know. This is the volume right here, the huge volume, but the candles went nowhere. Clear sign of absorption. And even to confirm the absorption, wait for the next candle and look at the next candle. -733, 219, that's a delta flip. And obviously, this would have been a great area to buy if you had a point of interest to the left. So that's pretty much it for absorption, guys. Hopefully you enjoyed this video. Hopefully you gained value. As I said, make sure you join the Telegram mentorship down in the description down below. I'm going over this over and over again. If you didn't understand this video or you have any questions about it, just make sure to join the Telegram. Ask me questions. I'll be hosting Zoom sessions, as I said, weekly, and we'll be discussing absorption over and over and over again. Also, as well as that, I want to make sure that you also head down into the description and avail of my free Orderflow ebook. You can get that. It's just a brilliant handbook to have. It gives you a very, very good introduction to Orderflow. So make sure you cop that ebook as well. And yeah, with that being said, I appreciate every single one of you for watching through to the end. We have one more session to go, and that will be it for the Orderflow beginners course. Make sure you're practicing. Make sure you're practicing. And make sure you're practicing. Make sure you go ahead and get the Orderflow software. That's also in the description. And as I said, here, I'll catch you guys in the next lesson. Have a great day. Bye-bye.